Hey, what's up everyone on YouTube? So I'm working on the 2014 Chevy Cruze again, but this time we're gonna repair the window regulator. Let's take a look. So as you can see, there's tape on the window because it keeps on falling. So right now I'm operating the switch and the motor, I can hear it. So that tells me that the motor's good. However, nothing's happening with the window and it slightly comes down. So we're gonna replace the window regulator and I'm gonna have to remove the interior door panel to get access to it. Let's get started. So what I'm going to use here, I'm going to use this suction tool. You can get at Harbor Freight. I'm going to place it here. And the reason why, now it's stuck, the reason why is because this tool will prevent the window from falling down. If it starts to slide down, this suction cup won't allow it to go all the way down. And it also keeps the window in a certain position. So when I need to remove the regulator, the window still stays in place. Another thing, if you don't have the suction tool, I like using these plastic tools. You can also get them at Harbor Freight for a very affordable price. So I suggest to wedge it between the weather strip and the glass, and that'll wedge the glass in position. Okay, in order to take off this interior panel, we're gonna have to remove the two screws. There's already one that's been removed here, so there's no need for that. Not too sure what happened. Hopefully I have some screws I can put that on there. But there is one here, inside here. So this doesn't have a little cover, but usually they do. So we're gonna have to use a T20, a Torx 20 bit to remove that screw. So that screw is a T20. Okay, so the screws are already removed already. Now I can take out this panel. Now, what I like to use are tools like these. So these plastic ones, the reason why is because I don't like to scratch up the interior panels. And this one right here to go underneath so that I can pop out those inserts. So let's figure this out. So I'm going to use the plastic because I see the paint exposed right here. Oh, that was easy. Take this one off. And this is really easy. And there we go. Panel's already off. Okay, so now we're gonna have to remove this plastic here. We're gonna remove these screws. There's the T20 also to remove these screws. And I'm gonna put this back on once I'm done replacing this regulator. Okay, now we have to remove the 10 metric bolt heads or screws, and that secures the regulator. Now on this one right here, I'm not gonna remove the whole screw and loosen it up a little bit. As you can see, we can adjust it and remove it out with the screw. Now let's see what happens. Oh, this is nice, easy to get to. Look, it's already broken. Okay. Now as you can see, as I remove this regulator, if I didn't have that suction, it could fall. And if it does fall, it's okay. I'm okay with that because I know it's being protected by the suction here. There's another screw right here that I didn't see. There it goes. Wasn't too bad. Now we have to remove the plug. So there's a plug right here. Push it in to unlock the plug, and then it'll disconnect. Now since the motor was working, I'm just gonna put this motor, the original motor, back onto the regulator. What I was told is that this was replaced a couple of months ago, so this is new right here. So no need to replace the actual motor. I'll just reuse it again. We have Phillips screws here, so that you can take that out and put it onto the motor. That tells me that this is already a replaced motor, because if it wasn't replaced, more than likely it would have been with rivets, and you would have to use a drill to drill out the rivets so it can come out. Okay, so I have the broken one here, and I have the new regulator here. So I just want to compare it and see where I'm going to position the motor, but this is really easy where you can't make a mistake. So I'll do a close-up shot on this right here so you can see the step-by-step. Okay, so I'm using Phillips number 3 to remove the screws. Discard the old one. Let's bring the new one in. So we have to make sure we position the mounting holes properly. And now install the motor and screw in the screw. Now we're ready to install into the door. Okay, so now I'm already ready to install the regulator, and but first we got to insert it into the cavity of the door. Since I'm already close inside already with this motor, I'm going to install the plug. And there we go, it's locked in. We got one in. Now let's do the other side. And there we are. Make sure you line it up. First I'm just going to put it with my hands, hand tight. Definitely want to make sure I have some clearance and wiggle room if we need to do any adjustment. Alright. Now we're ready to torque the bolts. What I'm going to do is turn the key on in the vehicle so I can lift up the regulator mounts so it can grab onto the bottom of the glass. I'm going to have to plug in the switch to operate the regulator. And now you can see the regulator is moving and it's in place. Okay, now that the regulator is already installed, make sure that the mount channel is underneath the glass, and then make sure you use a 10 metric socket to try to get a better view of this bolt. This is all the way in the up position, and then tying that up, the mount can actually secure itself to the glass. Same thing on this side. In the back area you'll see this opening here, tying that up as well so that again the mount for the glass is securely tight onto the glass. Now that everything's working properly and the mounts for the glass is in place, already in position and secured, then I'm gonna unplug the plug one more time because I need access to the door so I can install this piece right here and also put the plastic back in place. Now we have this duct tape. You can use any duct tape, whatever you like, just to secure the plastic. This one, be careful, don't let it stick out too much because then it's gonna be seen, because it's going to be coming out the panel. It's not perfect, but it's okay. It's not seen as well, but it also quiets the sound. So to me this is important to put back in because it just doesn't sound so tingy inside the car. I don't know if that's the right word, but that's the best way I can explain it. It's just you can just hear all the noise on the outside because you can hear it through the metal. Before we install the panel, we got to install this mount bracket. Now we can install the panel. Don't forget to plug the switch. Make sure that the harness is coming out the plastic. Okay, now we're ready to put the panel back in. Okay, the panel's already installed. Everything's good. Don't forget to install the screw into this cavity. And of course, unlike mine, I don't have a screw. But you definitely have to put one in here as well to secure the panel. And this little trim piece right here. So if you're working on a vehicle that someone put some tape on, or duct tape, this window just doesn't easily come down because it's all the glue and adhesive is keeping it from actually moving up and down properly. However, I'm gonna have to remove all this right here and then smooth it out to make sure that the window just drops when it needs to. Other than that, this is working pretty good. All I gotta do is take care of this. Obviously, this is something that you just have to scrape it off, so I'm not gonna make a video on that part right there. If you like this video, if this helped you out, please subscribe and also hit like for me. So thanks, appreciate it.